Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurain Atika binti Muhammad, metric number 279953. So today I will talk about uniqueness of Malaysia. What is Malaysia? Malaysia is a country in Southeast Asia. The federal constitutional monarchy consists of 13 states and 3 federal territories. Malaysia separated by the South China Sea into two regions. The one is Peninsula Malaysia and the second one is Borneo is Malaysia. Kuala Lumpur is the national capital and the largest city, while Putrajaya is the seat of the federal government. With a population of over 32 million, Malaysia is the world's 43rd most populous country. Malaysia is a multicultural society where people with different cultures and religion can live together. The main culture in Malaysia was the Malay. The Malays are the largest community. They are mostly Muslim, but there are Christian and Hindus amongst them. Next, the second community is the Chinese, comprised about a third of the population. They are Buddhists and Taoists, speak Hokkien, Hakka and Cantonese, and they are dominant in the business community. The third one is the Indians, account for about 7.3% of the population. They are mainly Hindu Tamils from southern India. They speak Tamil, Malayalam and some Hindi and live mainly in the larger town on the west coast of the peninsula. In Malaysia, the term Malay refers to a person who practices Islam and Malay tradition, also speak the Malay language. Their conversion to Islam from Hinduism and Theravada Buddhism began in the 1400s, largely influenced by the decision of the Royal Court of Malacca. The Malays are known for their gentle mannerism and rich arts heritage. Okay, next, the second largest ethnic group is the Malaysian Chinese. The Malaysian Chinese form about 24.6% of the population in Malaysia. Mostly descendants of Chinese immigrants during the 19th century. The Chinese are known for their diligence and keen business sense. The three subgroups who speak a different dialect of the Chinese language are the Hokkien, who live predominantly on the northern island of Penang, the Cantonese, who live predominantly in the capital city of Kuala Lumpur, and the Mandarin-speaking group who live predominantly in the southern state of Johor. The smallest of three main ethnic groups in the Malaysian was Indian. Indian form about 10% of the population. Most are descendants of Tamil-speaking South Indian immigrants who come to the country during the British colonial rule. Lured by the prospect breaking out of the Indian caste system, they come to Malaysia to build a better life. Predominantly Hindus, they brought with them their colorful culture such as ornate temples, spicy cuisine, and saris. So next, I'm going to talk about the cultures in Borneo East Malaysia, which is Sabah and Sarawak. Sabah population is heterogeneous and culturally diverse, with more than 30 different ethnic races and over 80 local dialects spoken. The main ethnic in the Sabah was the Kadazan Dusun tribe. This is the largest ethnic category in Sabah and is predominantly wet rice and hill rice cultivators. Their language belongs to the Dusunic family. Next, Bajau. The Bajaus are Sabah's second largest indigenous group. They are found in concentrated numbers on the coastal areas, especially from Kota Kinabalu to Kota Belud and around the Semporna area. Around half the Sarawak population is made of Malays and Chinese. The other half indigenous tribes, collectively known as Melanau, Ibans, Bidayu, and the Orang Ulu. The Malanaos have been thought to be amongst the original settlers of Sarawak. The Iban comprise the largest percentage, almost 34% of Sarawak population. The Bidayus make up 10% of the population in Sarawak, are now most numerous in the hill counties of Bau and Serian. The phrase Orang Ulu means upriver people and is a term used to collectively describe the numerous tribes that live upriver in Sarawak West interior. Move to the religion. In Malaysia, religion that practiced in Malaysia is very different. The different types of religion in Malaysia reflects the variety of race living there. Islam is the official religion, but the Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, and other religions are practiced freely. Islam is practiced predominantly by the Malays. Most of the Chinese believe in Buddhism and Taoism, but others are Christian. Hinduism is mostly practiced by region's Indian population. Many indigenous people have converted to Christianity, but others still practice animism. Move to the religion that practiced in Sabah and Sarawak. Sarawakian practice a variety of religion including Islam, Christianity, Chinese, folk religion, and animism. Christianity is the largest religion in culturally and religiously diverse Sarawak. Religion that practiced in Sabah. Mostly community in Sabah is practicing Islam, but there are also among them practicing Christianity and Buddhism. Some of them also practicing animism.
Hello, I will continue with the presentation. First, I will talk about the food in Malaysia. For me, Malaysian food is really delicious. When you visit Malaysia, the food that you must try is nasi lemak, roti canai, and satay. Food and culture always complete each other. Having various races and cultures mean many different food and cuisine. What makes Malaysian food unique is that sometimes Malaysians like to combine two or more cultural food recipes to produce one food, for example, mee goreng mama. Besides, Malaysia is the only country that you can find almost all traditional cuisine from every culture in one country. Visiting Malaysia is like a package where you visit one country, but you can experience eating food from other cultural cuisines. You stroll into a kopitiam for breakfast, ready to dig into soft-boiled eggs, kaya toast, and a cup of coffee. Lunch sees you at a bustling warung, helping yourself to a juicy fried chicken thigh and placing it on a bed of piping hot rice, toast liberally with fairy fish curry, leafy ulam piled on the side. Night falls and you holler for 2 pieces of roti canai extra garing. There's really no end to the varieties of delicious food you can eat in Malaysia, which is pretty swell. On top of that, some eateries are available 24 hours and are a blessing compared to the limited options for midnight snacking offered in other overseas countries. Second, a typical sentence could have words from 4 languages only in Malaysia. With a population as ethnically diverse as Malaysia's, it should come as no surprise that the country is linguistic melting pot too. English is the lingua franca and has its own colorful local dialect known as Manglish, which blends vocabulary and grammar from various languages. The classic sentences, "Wei Macha, you want makan here or tapao?" means, "Do you want to eat here or take out?" It's often used to illustrate Malaysia's linguistic diversity as it contains words from Tamil, English, Malay, and Chinese. As said succinctly, in this tweet, where else in the world can you use 4 languages to form a perfectly acceptable sentence like the one just now? An excellent comment of the English language is a must in the workforce, but when it comes to chatting with your friends during lunch or speaking casually with an auntie while waiting for her to get your nasi lemak order ready, there's nothing like the warm and familiar nuances of Manglish that bonds every Malaysian together. And there you have it, the many reasons why you should be glad to live in Malaysia. There's no more years to living the true blue Malaysian life. Last but not least, I will talk about the traditional costume in Malaysia. First, Malay's costume. Traditional Malay attire for men is the baju Melayu, a loose tunic which is worn over trousers and usually accompanied with a sarong called a samping, which is wrapped around the hips. It is also often accompanied with a songkok or cap. Malay women wear the baju kurung, a knee-length blouse worn over a long skirt. The blouse is long sleeves and collarless, while the skirt, called a kain, has pleats on one side. A headscarf is sometimes worn with this. Second, Chinese costume. The classical everyday clothing for men in Malaysia is a short-sleeved shirt worn outside the tourist, lightweight tourist, and informally sandal for comfort. Chinese women wear the cheongsam, a one-piece dress with a high collar, diagonally closed with small clips or toggles, fabric clasps. It sometimes can have slits at the side as it's made with a soft fabric such as silk. The cheongsam is especially popular around the times of the Chinese New Year and other formal gatherings. Next, Indians' costume. Indians in Malaysia, as with elsewhere in the world, wear saris, a cloth of 5 to 6 yards, which is usually worn with a petticoat of a similar shade. It is wrapped around the body so that the embroidered end hangs over the shoulder, while the petticoat is worn above the belly button to support the sari, which can be made from a wide variety of materials. In formal occasions, Indian men wear the kurta, a knee-length shirt usually made from cotton or linen. The Indian men wear sherwani, lungi, dhoti, and kurta pajama.